Hello, in this short video I want to look at what's included in the 0.1.0 release of the Cake.VsCode.Recipe package. So what is Cake.VsCode.Recipe? Ultimately this is an opinionated set of build scripts for use with the Cake build automation tool, specifically for the process of building and publishing a VS Code extension. So what does all of that mean? So if we take a look at an example project that I have, so this example project is the Cake-Contrib VS Code extension. So you can find that in the gallery. So this is something that has shipped. So if we search up here for Cake-Contrib, then this is an extension that myself and Matthias Carlson have been developing, and we use the Cake.VsCode.Recipe package to help with that build process. So what that looks like, if I look at this recipe.cake file here, we can see that at the top, within this Cake script, so if anyone is not familiar with Cake, that's not what we're discussing in this video. Cake, I've got other videos on what Cake is and how it can be used, but the recipe package that we're specifically using makes it easy to do the same build process over and over and over again for different extensions. So rather than having to repeat the code in multiple places, I have multiple VS Code extensions. So rather than having all the code in one place, I want to be able to write that code once and then reuse it across multiple things. And that's exactly what this recipe package is doing. So what we're doing up here in the first line is I am asking Cake to reach out to get that Cake.VsCode.Recipe package and download it, and then execute the build steps contained within that. So then this is the main section of the code here. Essentially what I'm doing here is I'm providing the parameters that are specific to this extension, the one that I'm building within this folder. So in here I set things like the title, the repository owner, the repository name. These are the things that are going to change between a different version or a different extension. Each of these values is going to be different. And then I've also got control over some of the utility tools that's part of this build process. So if I'm running a specific version of TypeScript, or I'm running a specific version of the VSCE utility, which is the one that's used for actually doing the packing and the publishing of the V6 file that's ultimately published to the Visual Studio Marketplace, I can control those version numbers as well from this recipe script that I've done here. And with that done, Cake.VsCode.Recipe takes care of everything else. Once I've set these things up, it will then run off and it will do the npm install. So it'll look at what I've got in the package.json file for the project, and it'll install all of those things. It'll download and install TypeScript if it's not installed. It will then do the build process that is taking all of the code that is the TypeScript files. It will transpile them into JavaScript and then put them into where they need to be. It will then run the VSCE tool to pack the V6 file and then ultimately publish it into the gallery. I've also written it in such a way that this recipe has the concept of creating a chocolatey package as well, and it will take that V6 and it will embed it within a chocolatey package for ultimately publishing on chocolatey.org. It also has the concept of controlling version numbers using tools like Git version, and then also the ability to generate release notes using Git Release Manager, and then it'll ultimately, once the publishing happens, it will then publish also to publish a message to indicate that a new release has been created. And it'll do that to Gitter, it'll do that to Twitter, it can do it to Slack as well. If you've got a failed build, you want to publish that to an internal Slack channel. So it's basically taking the entire build process for a VS Code extension, wrapping up into a set of opinionated scripts in terms of how things work, but there is an element of control that you can do with regard to what steps you exactly want to do within that process. But again, I have a few extensions on the gallery, and I didn't want to have to do the same build process over again. And if I make a tweak to the build, I have to do it in multiple places. So the recipe package allows me to have that knowledge in one place and then bring it in to the Cake build with one addition to the recipe.cake file that I have here. So that's what it is. That was very much a whistle-stop tour of the recipe package. There's lots more to it. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out on the Twitter handle below. Or if there's any problems with it, if you notice any problems, feel free to reach out and create an issue, and we can address them there. Thank you very much.